Hey there, welcome to Ask Amy. I'm starting a couple minutes late today because I was trying to get situated to have my outside be my background because look how awesome this is. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. We're getting like real snow. It's kind of our first real snow, so I'm loving it. But when I tried to situate it to have the snow falling behind me, it didn't work so well. So anyway, welcome back to Ask Amy on this snowy Monday. So I have a question today from Craig. It's an excellent question. Greg says he apologizes in advance for it being a very deep question. It's not a question I can answer. I don't know that anyone can really answer it, but we'll speak to it. We'll explore this a little bit together. So Craig says, I look forward to your podcast and Ask Amy videos each week. Thank you for making these. Thank you for watching, Craig. Each week, a recurring question occurs to me, and so I want to see if you can point me in the right direction. Apologies in advance, it's a rather deep question. I believe that I've had significant insights into the nature of thought and how it's been giving me my moment-to-moment experience of life since the moment I was born. But my scientific nature leads me to question what lies underneath. For example, our spiritual nature, our mind, our soul. For example, are we not just biological machines? Do we really have souls, or are we just a beating heart that powers our body and organs and biological microsystems? Is it not just our subconscious mind in our brain where wisdom arises? I can't grasp the concept of a single collective consciousness shared by humanity. I believe we all share an ability to be conscious, but do we not just have our own separate consciousness, which is shaping our own experience of life? It's a great question, Craig. So first of all, I obviously can't answer that in any definitive way. I don't know anyone who can really, I mean, these are the things this is like the question. It's like the question. This is the stuff that people love exploring and debating and talking about and thinking about. So part of it, like to me, I love the fact that it's a mystery, that we have people all over the place pointing to boatloads of evidence that we are connected and that we are one. And so I'll talk about some of that, but there's, stuff being done in quantum physics that I don't know enough about to speak about it any way that you would understand. But, like Dean Radin is one of my favorites. He does some research in some laboratory research that's all done kind of following the scientific method that shows how we can kind of share experiences and how there's a connection between people. Now, that said, I'm sure anyone can take any Dean Radin book and poke holes in it and say, oh, well, this could be explained this way and that could be explained that way. And I'm sure there's research, I'm not aware of it, but I'm sure there is about, that points to that we could take as evidence of us being separate, totally independent biological machines with no bigger connection. If that's out there, and I'm sure it is, it may have been done in a lab following all the greatest, scientific method. But again, anyone could probably look at that and poke holes in it. So even our science is my point, like even our science is done by human beings. That's by definition subjective and biased by all kinds of factors. So even our best science kind of still has this amazing question of yours being kind of a mystery. And I think it's really cool. I think it's really sort of part of the fun in it is that it's a mystery. We don't need to know. And it's fun to kind of just explore. So I'll just say how it looks to me, Craig, and for whatever that's worth. And again, everything I'm saying now is just my opinion. So there's no fact in this necessarily. I personally cannot fathom how we aren't connected. I can't for a second see how it's possible, how it could be that we truly are 7.5 billion completely separate, independent, just biological machines, that what we call wisdom and intuition and common sense and love and compassion and all of that originates from our brain and only from our brain. I can't wrap my head around it. Maybe again, similar to how you can't wrap your head around the fact that we're all connected. So that's just where we are with that, right? But for me, I guess the some of the biggest things are like, if we're all separate individual biological machines, why is there such a drive toward connection? Such a, like, everything in us wants to be with other people, not always in the moment physically, but wants to feel part of the whole, wants to feel connected. To me, and this is just my very biased little slivered way of looking at it, but it's like, oh, because that's our nature. So everything in us wants to get back to oneness, yet we have experiences all the time because we also have a biology, and we also are machine-like in that way. We have experience of separation all the time. But if you look at us as a species, we're constantly moving toward connection and depth and love and compassion. If we're 7.5 billion separate, independent biological machines with no shared consciousness or essence, this is my favorite. Why is it that when one of us hurts, like someone you don't even know, you feel their hurt? When you hear about some tragedy somewhere, why does that hurt you when you have nothing to do with that tragedy? When you don't know those people, they aren't your friends or family. Like, why does that hurt us so much? Why does it hurt to see others hurt? And on the flip side, why does it feel so darn good to see others happy? And it does. We don't know them. We're not getting anything from it. Just look at, like, the giveaways, Ellen and Oprah and all these people that give stuff away. Look at all the positive stories that people talk about and share. It brings you joy to see complete strangers, if they're completely independent, separate biological machines, to see them feel good. I don't see how that makes sense if there's not some bigger essence. And again, I'm sure there are reasons. I'm sure we could come up with explanations on how that does make sense, but I'm just telling you my opinion. Why is it that, like, if we're 7.5 separate biological machines, why can we watch one of those videos of, I'm gonna cry just thinking about it, like of a dad who's been away, deployed somewhere, come surprise his kid at school, and that kid turn around and see that dad for the first time in months? Like, seriously, I'm crying right now. Why do we all cry? We don't know those people, but there's something in us, and maybe it is just coming from a brain, coming from a machine. Maybe it is just part of how we're biologically designed. But I don't think so. I think we feel that as if it's happening to us, because it is happening to us, because we are all one, because we are all the same. So again, Craig, I have no idea. All I know is how it looks to me. And I think the bigger question, like really sitting with your question, which was so great, and I'm so glad you sent it, the bigger thing in that is, not what's true, but what does it do for us to see it the way that we see it? So I know that for me, feeling as strongly as I do, knowing, I would say, as strongly as I do, that we are all one, that we perceive separation, that our minds and our minds create and perceive this illusion of separation. And so it looks like we're all separate, but that is an illusion. That is just one level of seeing things. It's just a perception. And beyond that, we're all one. That has made me a kinder person. It has made me a softer person. It reminds me what's really important. It's made me far less judgmental or want to argue superficial differences, because who cares? We're all the same, in my opinion. Like, we're the same. We just have different egos. Why? I don't care what someone else's ego says. I don't care what their mind tells them, really, if it's totally against what my mind tells me. That's not the level at which we want to look. And so, again, I just think that's an interesting take on it. Like, since we'll never know, since this will probably be a mystery forever, what does it do for you? Or what's the benefit, or what are the implications of seeing that we're all connected, or maybe of seeing us as separate biological machines. Maybe that has some benefit. I don't know. But that seems like an interesting place to look in all this. So I don't know, Craig. I can't really answer your question. I know you didn't think I could. Anyway, I know you weren't looking to me for an answer, but I hope this is an interesting exploration. And I get that it's extremely biased, but I can only see it the way I see it. But maybe it'll do something to kind of help you see, how it looks to people who do see this kind of oneness, who do perceive that. And who knows? So thank you so much for sending your question, Craig. I hope it's been helpful for everyone. Thanks so much for all of you for sending your questions. Please keep sending them, especially as we go into the holiday season and stuff ramps up sometimes in people's lives and heads. Send your questions to AskAmy@thelittleschoolofbigchange.com, and I will be here every single Monday answering them. So have a great week.